welcome back to Grumpy Old Men. As you all know, I am Eric.
And I am Tim. And like he said, we are the grumpy old men. We talk about stuff you may want to hear, may not want to hear. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. But hey, we just two old men getting on here having a good time. How's your week
Extra
been, buddy?
good, extra grumpy today because
Uh,
this past weekend so my daughter and I had tickets to go see the Yankees here at Busch Stadium. 3 game set, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Friday we get to the stadium, beautiful day. All of a sudden the rain rolls in. They go into a rain delay like crap. So then Friday night at like 8:30 they finally send us home. All right, game doubleheader tomorrow. Fine. But luckily it's like late, 6:15 is the game. So we get there 6:15. Well, we get there and the first game's still not over because they went into a rain delay. So it's Saturday,
Jeez.
but they let us in, so we got to watch like the end of the first game, and then they started the second one 30 minutes later. But it ended up being like perfect night, like 70 degrees, good night for baseball. Yankees won, and then we go back Sunday because we have tickets to the Sunday game at 1:15, blazing hot, like 100 degrees. We're just baking. Like I was miserable. The Yankees lost. It was like the Cardinals took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. Cardinals have, I think, the second or third worst record in baseball. But just I'm tired. I don't like. I'm good for baseball stadiums like for
Did
a
you, did
while.
you, did Judge play? Did Aaron play, or is he still
No,
out?
no, but we got to meet him. Not in person, but him and Stanton both were out signing autographs about 45 minutes prior to the game. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was hot this past weekend. We went on a little birthday weekend with some friends of ours and sat around at the beach, the man-made beach, and a few other places. But it was scorching hot. It was a little too hot.
Yeah, and then yesterday or 2 days ago, I was watching the Yankee game, and they were on rain delay in Yankee Stadium. They can't get rid of this rain. Like it just is chasing them everywhere. But yeah, we had some bad storms. Friday, power went out. Um,
Yeah, we've actually had some around here also. We've had a couple the last couple nights, but about 5, 6 o'clock it rained, a couple power outages and stuff like that. But it seems to have cooled off a little bit. It ain't quite as hot the last day or two as it was this past weekend. Well,
no, it's
the weekend was brutal.
yeah, it's only 90 today. But yeah, the weekend it was just hot. It was like thick. Like when you're just
Yeah.
walking, it's just sticky. You can't breathe. Like this sucks.
Then days you want to sit inside in the air conditioner and say, no, I'm not going out today.
Or be outside in my pool that I put up.
Well, this is true.
Yeah, it's been
This is
nice.
true.
It's been nice.
So,
And then
hey,
tomorrow,
at
I
least
get
you
to go
got the
sit in
pool
a
out there
chair
to do.
for 10 hours while some dude tattoos me for 10 freaking. It's
Oh,
gonna.
that's gonna be fun. You got to send me a picture of that tomorrow. Well, let it heal up first because
Well, they'll take a picture right after,
yeah,
which usually looks okay right afterwards.
yep.
But then, like 3 to 4 days, after the tat, it looks like crap while it's peeling and shedding and everything else, and it's all
Hey,
black and.
see if they got the last one I got when I got that one. They had what's called like dermaskin instead of putting. Have you been where they wrapped it into cellophane and all that
Yeah.
stuff? They've got what they call out now. The guys tried it. It's called like dermaskin or something, and you put it on, and it's. I mean, it goes on, but you don't take it off for a couple of days, and it's skin tight like that other thing. It actually worked pretty well. It helped healed up pretty quick. I
Okay.
was
Yeah.
impressed with it.
Well, the last one I got, this one, it didn't. He put some shit on it and wrapped it, and it didn't do too bad. Just
Yeah.
a little flaky, once it's healing. But yeah, no, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what the design is. It's dealer's
Yeah,
choice. I haven't even seen it yet.
that's gonna be neat. That is gonna be neat. 9 hours. Be careful. Don't get tattoo flu. I
Yeah.
got that when I got this. When I got the sleeve on this arm, I actually got what they call tattoo flu. I sat there. I got there about 11 o'clock and started, and about 6:45, 7 o'clock, I was like, all right, we got to stop because I was cold, I was shaking, and he was like, yeah, you got because he kept asking me, man, we can stop. I can finish it later. I'm like, no, man, keep going. I'm good. Yeah.
Well, even for these two that I have they were taking a break like every hour.
Yep.
Take 10, grab a granola bar or something, grab some water, walk around a little bit, and come back. Yeah, I won't be actually. I mean, I'll have my work phone. I'll have my work shit and stuff to do while I'm there. I'll have my computer. Maybe watch a movie. Maybe watch. Maybe read the Bible.
You need to read the Bible, Eric. You don't know enough about the Bible.
I don't. I'm
It,
gonna go. I'll go. I'll download like the what do they call it? Not English, but the version that you can read. You know what I mean? Like the
Oh yeah, the new standard version or new international version, or not the King James version. All the here to and therefores and the
right, their
hitters,
arts. And
their
yeah,
arts.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Where it's like the.
yeah, yeah. You want the plain English version.
Yeah. Do they have Cliff Notes? Bible Cliff Notes?
Yeah, they actually do. They actually have Bible Cliff Notes.
Maybe I'll read it. I'm
Good.
gonna get 8 9 hours. I don't want to fall asleep in that chair. There's no way I'm
Need a
falling asleep.
No, you're not falling asleep with that little thing going.
Especially when he starts getting like my elbow and like,
Is it gonna be black? Is it solid
black
black? Or
and
is it
white.
going?
Black
Okay.
and white. Yeah.
Yeah, because the one I got on my chest that hurt. It is weird. It's only about as big as my hand right there, but it's got a whole lot of color.
Hmm.
And he did the outline in black, and he did all that, and he did some of the shading of the crows and everything. And he actually leaned down and told me, he said, "This is gonna hurt," because it was already so red and raw that he had to go back and color it. Oh man, that was probably the worst pain I'd had as far as getting a tattoo.
Yeah. When I had the one on my right arm, there were points I was just like, dude, why don't you move on from that spot? Like,
Yeah.
I could. It feels like you're gonna crawl into my skin with that needle. Like, get the hell. Just do something else for a little bit. Come back to that, would you?
But they're addictive. Once you get one, you want another one.
I know.
I want another one right now, but
I don't
my
even know
wife
how
said
much
I
it's
couldn't
going to
get-
cost. I have no idea. Like, I'm going to bring 1,000 in cash with me.
Oh yeah, you should be good if you should be all right.
Yeah, because this one was like 500.
Yeah, that's what this. Well, the guy cut me a break. He charged me like $450, $500. I gave him $100 tip.
Yeah, and usually if you have cash on you, you get.
Yeah,
If you have to go up to the counter and like they have to account for it and swipe the card.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's amazing what cash does. There's a lot of cities. If you pay cash, you can get some good discounts.
I'll be like 1 of 5 times I carry cash on me throughout the year. That's all.
You never carry cash.
Ever.
That's what you said. Well, you better go get some now.
I am. I'm going to go to the bank first thing in the morning. On my way, I'll grab some cash.
Good.
I have a stack of Benjamins in my pocket.
Hey, nothing like Chris Benjamin's, baby. Make it rain.
That's like, give me this tattoo. They have like in this place, and I'm sure they do it in most places. Like they have a gumball machine filled with like those little plastic, like at the grocery store, like the plastic thing you have to pull apart to get the prize out. It's filled with that, and you can for $100 you can walk in and pay $100 and just turn the thing, and you get whatever's dropped, but you have to get it.
Oh wow! Oh, you talking about the tattoo?
Yeah.
Oh, so
yeah. There's
it's like a Wheel of Fortune tattoo or something, or just okay.
Yeah, like luck of the draw. Like it could be a butterfly that I'd have to get, or whatever they have in there. But yeah, that's pretty fun.
Oh, that's pretty cool. $100. You just want a cheap tattoo? Hey, $100. Let's see what I get. Then you can figure out where to put it what it is.
Yeah, you can put it anywhere you want, but you have to get it. That's the deal. It's the shop minimum is $80. Like my daughter got just a small little flower on her forearm, and it was $80. That's shop minimum.
Yeah, that's about the standard. When I was getting mine, my daughter said she wanted to get them. Of course, she was like 15 or 16. I said, "No, baby." I said, "When you're 18, you can get them. Just make sure you call me because I want to go with you." And she did. She called me, and it was like she got something small to begin with. Now she got 3 or 4. I think I created a monster.
Yeah, Destiny, my oldest, the one who won't come on the show with us, she's got tattoos everywhere. I mean, every time she got some spare change, she's in that tattoo shop getting some shit.
That's what I had to watch myself because I'm afraid I'm gonna start doing that.
Well, she's got like them on her hands and shit. Nothing like neck up. She's good, but like she's got them on her hands, and they're all tasteful. There's nothing like vulgar or anything, but she got a big giant like dragon on her back. Oh, man, I can't. Right down the spine. She's like, that was the most pain I've ever had.
Hurt.
Yeah, no thanks.
I bet that hurt. Yeah, my wife's got one on her thigh, and she's got some color in it, and I went with her. So she came out of the chair a couple times, but she sat through it. I give her credit.
God love her.
I know.
Man. I can't understand like these guys that get them on their necks and their face.
Nah.
Unless you're Post Malone and you have $1 gazillion because you're a successful artist, or a baseball player, I guess, if you're making millions of dollars. But if I want to go for an interview, I don't want shit like sticking out my hands and my neck. No,
you don't. You don't need that. No, the ones I got, they're pretty. I can cover them up if I have to. So.
Well, for now, I can. After tomorrow, a short sleeve shirt won't do it anymore. But I can cover with a long sleeve shirt.
I cover them up with long sleeves. But luckily place I work, they actually changed their policy. As long as they're tasteful, they let you show them now.
Even the military. Yeah, the
Yep.
military, it used to be you have to be able to cover it up by a short sleeve shirt, but now as long as it's tasteful, you can't have like, fuck the USA on your forearm and you join the military.
See any good news this week before we get into, we promised last week we get Eric up to speed on biblical prophecy.
Man.
But
I wish I did so that I don't have to learn about the Bible, but here we are.
you don't,
All I
you
keep
don't,
seeing is about the submersible and yeah, I mean, just not a whole lot of crap going on. I didn't see anything about Trump this week. Oh, so last time we talked, it was before the end of July. So did you see that speech that Biden gave?
you talking about the incoherent where he said God save the Queen?
No,
Or the one
that or the one where he talked about inflation. It was like June 29th. He said, "I have some good news. Inflation for July is at 0%."
0%. That's his old Bidenomics, man.
Yeah, we're at the end of June. It's not even July yet, but good call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the update, buddy.
Yep. He's got dementia. I'm sorry, he does.
He should just be sitting on a porch somewhere eating ice cream.
And I'm wondering if they're going to, right here towards the end, I really wonder if they're going to tell him he's got to step aside due to dementia and let Kamala be the first female president for, 60, 90 days before re-election, because they're not getting re-elected unless there's cheating going on. There's no way.
It's not going to be him.
No. It ain't even going to be her. Have you seen her with her speeches? She don't even make sense either.
No, she was very well spoken in the beginning and everything else, and like before. And
she's
now,
eating his ice cream, man. It's killing her brain cells.
What the hell's in that damn ice cream, man? They're putting drugs in the ice cream. Somebody's slipping them dementia, whatever that would be. Like Agent Orange, just putting it in his ice cream. He's going nuts.
I feel anyway. I'm so I feel bad for the man that he's got his mental capacities are like that, but that's just embarrassing for our country.
Oh yeah, there's millions of people out there. I mean, if he was a senator, it'd be bad enough, but he's the president of our damn nation, and other countries are laughing at us.
Oh, they laugh at us like heck. I mean, they do.
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck are we doing? So anyway.
All right, go ahead.
So anyway, well, we've talked a couple times about my worldviews but some of this is swayed because of my biblical worldviews, so to speak. And you listen to you don't really have any, do you?
No.
What's your knowledge of the Bible?
Oh,
whether you believe it's true or not.
Okay. I know the story of Job.
Okay.
I know that he was hung on a cross.
Wait a minute. You mean Jesus, not Job, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus hung on a cross, turned wine into water, split the Red Sea.
Moses did that.
Moses split the Red Sea. There was an ark with some animals. Noah built.
Yeah, well, the ark. That's where the rainbow came from.
I know you told me that, but I didn't hear about the rainbow.
Right.
I mean, other than that, man, I mean, I know the story of Joseph because of the musical.
Right.
That's it. That's really it. I mean, there's probably things that I don't remember that I know about. Like if you brought it up, I might know about it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's very limited. I mean, I believe in God. I believe that if I'm a good person and I do things right, I will go to heaven. I believe there's a heaven and a hell. But yeah, that's it, man. That's all I got.
Oh, well, good. See, I think it's kind of ironic that they call this movement and everything we done. What did we just get out of in June? What was June?
Yeah, it's Gay Pride Month.
Pride Month, right?
Yeah,
it's called Pride Month, and they got the symbol as a rainbow. See, again, sometimes I look at these deeper meanings of what it was meant. What is meant? Why did Satan got kicked out of heaven, right?
Did you know that? I believe so. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know why Satan got kicked out of heaven?
I knew it was coming. Nope, absolutely not. Was he screwing angels?
No. Pride and envy. He wanted to be God. He God was he wanted to. He was a very high ranking angel, and he wanted to be God. He wanted to be worshipped, so God drop kicked him out of heaven. but it was due to pride. So I find it very ironic that they call it Pride Week, because what's the sincerest form of flattery?
The sincerest form of flattery?
Yeah, if I ask you what is the sincerest form of flattery,
I know the answer to this. Why is it?
you know the answer to this.
I don't know why it's. Fuck. I don't know. Just say it.
Imitation.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. When
So-
somebody wants
so-
to be you. Yeah.
Somebody wants to be you, or I want to be like Mike, Air Jordan or whatever. Satan wanted to be
Showing our age.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
But seriously, Satan wanted to be like God. He wanted to be God. So, and you think about it, and I brought that up for a reason, because I'm going to say something. I'm going to bring something out in just a minute. You had, okay, the Bible is, and I think it's all funny. We're sitting over here. We're all what they call, again, this is just biblical references. Whether you believe it or don't believe it, that's fine. You can email me. I don't want to get into conversations of what, we can go into all that. But for the topic of this discussion, we're going with the basis the Bible is true.
Okay.
And there is a God, and there is a heaven and a hell.
And I believe that. Yes.
Yes, I do too.
Okay.
But anyway,
Are the 7 deadly sins in the Bible?
yeah,
All
they
right,
talk
cool.
about them.
That's not something else I got. Go ahead.
Pride,
'Cause when you
envy,
said pride, envy, greed,
lust, yes, all those, sloth. But yeah, not it. It may not be listed as, oh, these are 7.
Right.
It's not
but
listed in one. It's not listed like the 10 Commandments, but they're brought out.
I know about that too.
Oh, okay.
The old was it Mel Brooks, the History of the World? Like, I bring to you these 12 or 13 commandments.
Yeah.
These 10 commandments. Drops the tablets and they.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, but I think always funny, people, we look at the Bible from what we call a Gentile perspective. We're not Jewish. We're considered Gentiles from a biblical perspective. But think about it. It is a Jewish book written through God about the Jewish people, about a Jewish Messiah who was born, raised, buried, crucified. He rose again, ascended into heaven, and the next time he comes back to earth, according to the Bible, he's not coming back to New York. He ain't coming back to Florida or Australia. He's coming back to Jerusalem. So it would behoove us to understand sometimes this Bible from a Jewish perspective. And, unfortunately, you've seen all the pictures of Jesus is white and, blonde hair and blue eyes, or dark hair and a beard, or I'm sorry, you got the black families that's got a black Jesus or whatever. He ain't white and he ain't black. He's
Middle Eastern.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, think about it. The guy you don't like in the store up the street that's running the store, that's from the Middle East, he's going to resemble a Middle Eastern, because that's where he's from.
Which
that was
is weird,
his mother.
because then you would think Jesus would be either really good at IT or running a convenience store.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's got to be good at IT if God put all this together. That's the supercomputer.
I really am not racist. That was just a stereotype.
You really digress. But all right.
I really don't like where you're going with this. You're gonna link this to Hitler somewhere.
No. Just hang tight.
All right. Here we go.
But Moses. So you was talking about Moses a minute ago. Moses got the 10 Commandments on where? Do you know where he got those?
Mount Vesuvius.
Nope.
Damn it.
You were close on the Mount. Mount Sinai.
Mount something. Sinai.
Mount Sinai. Damn it.
All right, go ahead.
Do you know where Mount Sinai is located?
It's got to be in Israel.
Nope.
Mount Sinai.
Mount Sinai.
Japan. China.
You ever heard of Sinai Peninsula? Why do you think it's called that?
No.
The Mount Sinai is in Arabia. And the book of Galatians actually tells you that Mount Sinai is in Arabia. I'm telling you all this because I'm going to bring something out in a minute.
Perfect.
But exactly. And we're getting all this. But there are over 300 prophecies in the Bible that foretold Jesus was coming the first time. Right? All of them came true.
You say right? Like I'm going to agree with you. I'm just taking you for your word. But yeah.
So there's 300 plus prophecies that prophesied about Jesus's first coming to earth.
Okay.
Every single one of them are true. They came true. So if you and I are batting 1,000%, or let's just say, hey, we watch sports. if I pick 300 straight Kentucky Derby winners or 300 straight football or baseball winners, and I tell you, and I give you the next 10, 15, 20 winners, you think I got a good chance of winning?
I'm putting my life on it. I'm
Exactly. You bet.
Yeah.
Exactly. You
Wait,
bet.
so all right. So the 300 prophecies about how
about Jesus, about him coming into Jerusalem on a donkey, him, this, all of this stuff. There's different types, but there's over 300 prophecies in the Old Testament before he was ever born. Talking about he'd be born of a virgin, the whole 9 yards,
Okay.
all this stuff that happened in Jesus's life. There's over 300 in the Old Testament. We ain't even talking about the New Testament. I'm talking about in the Old Testament that foretold him coming.
I thought the New Testament was just a new version of the Old Testament.
No. The Old Testament was written in Hebrew, and it was written before Jesus is coming.
All right.
And then of course, Jesus was born in Bethlehem, etc. And after he was
born to Virgin Mary, ain't nobody coming.
Exactly. You got that exactly. Nobody came for that. Man, right. You digress. Lord, please forgive him. I'm talking about the Bible, and he's.
I know.
No, I know. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, so the Old Testament talked about him coming, and this was years before he.
And the New Testament is after he was born.
Correct. The New Testament didn't start getting written until roughly about. It really started getting. I mean, now some of the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they were written about 50 A.D. roughly a couple of years, 20 or so years after he had left, because he was left in 33. Because that's when the calendar we would need the BC and 8. He went to heaven. Remember, he ascended into heaven.
Left. Oh, he said after he left, like he went to the go get milk and never came back. Kids at home.
He went home for a little while, but so and it's funny you brought up the angel Gabriel, because we'll talk about that in a minute too. But
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? You said the Virgin Mary. You don't know how you don't know. You know the story of her being told she was with child?
No.
Okay, so the Bible tells you that the angel Gabriel, there was an angel called Gabriel, appeared to Mary, and she was betrothed or engaged to marry a dude named Joseph, who was, that was her husband. She was with child. This angel appealed to her and said she was with child, and she was like, "Wait a minute, we ain't done what we need to do to have a child." And then, the angels basically told her it's okay. Gave her the whole explanation. It's the son of God. It was God basically. And
can you imagine conversation Mary had to have with Joseph? So
exactly, honey,
love of my life.
Yeah.
So there's this thing, immaculate conception, right? Where I can get pregnant without a seven. Imagine that conversation going on today.
Yeah. But he actually had a messenger visit him and tell him it was okay too. So he got
all right, that's fair.
Because me and you would have been like, deuces, I'm out. Especially back then. Back then it was really serious. Because you had to pay a bright price to the bride's family to get, for the wedding and the whole 9 yards.
A dowry,
yes. Mm-hmm. See, you do know. I'm impressed.
No, I know what a dowry is. I know what you have to pay if you're ready. Yeah.
Okay. So he got it smoothed over so he would accept it and go, okay, this is for real. But
hold on, wait. So the Joseph that Donny Osmond played in Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, is that the same Joseph?
No,
I didn't think so.
No.
All right, go ahead.
You had that's the Old Testament Joseph.
Okay.
You had
tell the future shit. With
you've heard of Abraham, right?
That I know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You had Abraham. Abraham had Isaac. Isaac had Jacob, and Jacob had 12 sons, and one of his sons was Joseph.
Okay.
And he was favored among the other sons, and they didn't like it. That's why he got the coat of many colors, etc.
Right.
And they sold him into slavery. Blah 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 blah.
Yep, and then he came back and
he ended up saving. He ended up saving Elvis. The whole nation. Yeah, he met Elvis, the whole Pharaoh. 9 yards exactly. But my point is, if there's 300 plus prophecies foretelling of his first coming, and they're all true, and like you said, you're betting the house if I'm 300 for 300 and picking sports games or whatever it is. What do you think the chances are that the other 300? There are actually more prophecies they're talking about his second coming are going to come true.
Okay, so how many prophecies are in the New Testament after Jesus?
Well, some of them are in the Old Testament that foretell his second coming, but there's approximately, I think it's 425. I'd have to relook that.
Has there ever been one that's been incorrect?
No, not so far.
Okay, well then, yeah. Great. I can't wait to hear what you got coming then. Let's go.
No, I'm just
bring on the prophecies, buddy. I want to know what's happening.
so the angel Gabriel appeared to Mary, right? And she was told about this. And what did we say the sincerest form of flattery was? Imitation.
Right.
Satan got kicked out of heaven because he wanted to be like God. I'm finna really make some people mad right here. Do you know how Islam got started?
They copied it from another religion.
So, who's the founder of Islam?
I don't know.
Muhammad.
Mr. Islam.
Yeah, Muhammad. You ever heard of Muhammad? You ever heard him talk about?
I've known many Muhammads. Apparently, not this one.
Not this one, right? So, Islam was founded by a man by the Prophet Muhammad.
Okay.
Right. So when Muhammad's parents died when he was a young boy, about 12 years old. He was adopted by his grandfather and uncle. They kind of co-parented him a little bit. So back then, and this was like in 524 AD, roughly. So this is some 500 years after Jesus has left the earth. He went to get ice cream, like he was talking about. He's in heaven.
To go get milk and cigarettes.
Milk and cookies. He ain't come back yet. He ain't come back from the store yet.
The kids are just like, "Where's Daddy?" Anyway, go ahead.
So Muhammad's parents died. He was raised by his grandfather and his uncle, and they had what's called back then called a travel, and they were in Arabia. They had what's called a traveling caravan. That all these caravans ran around. Well, what's the two prominent? Yeah, the camel caravans, etc.
I know what you're talking about.
What's the two prominent cities in Islam?
Jerusalem and Tel Aviv.
No. That's in Israel. I don't know
where you are anymore.
Yeah. You ever heard of Mecca and Medina?
Mecca, yes. Medina, maybe. Jody. Okay. No, go ahead. No.
Not Jody Messina, Mecca and Medina. I know where you were going with that.
I stopped because it wasn't Medina; it was Messina.
So when you see the Islamic people praying 5 times a day, when the prayer thing's going out, and they kneel and they're facing Mecca. They're facing Mecca. Well, in Mecca there was a big stone or meteorite, and they actually built this building around it. It's called the Kaaba. And inside this, they built it around this stone, right? And Muhammad's grandfather was what was called the keeper of the keys, because all these caravans that traveled around Arabia, the crossroads came through Mecca. So just imagine this. If you and I are it's like a hotel. Think of Hotel California. We're sitting here in Mecca, and everybody's coming to our city. Well, we're charging people to go in because they didn't know what this stone was. They think it's a meteorite or something that had crashed years ago, whatever. We're charging people a fee to go inside the Kaaba and to pray to all these different gods and put little, how you've seen them hanging the symbols or statues or whatever.
The cards or whatever they bring with them.
Whatever they kind of like Catholics do when they're putting their cards up, praying with the candles and everything. It's similar to that. But it was a plethora of gods. Well, Muhammad was brought up in this. So when Muhammad was about, I don't know, I think he was 24, maybe 25, he was in the mountains of Arabia. Where did Moses get the 10 Commandments?
The Mount Sinai.
Mount Sinai in Arabia.
Okay.
Muhammad, fast forward now, the sincerest form of flattery is imitation. Fast forward. Well, by the time Moses got him, we're talking about 4,500 years. But since Jesus' time, about 500 years. Muhammad's in the mountains of Arabia, and he says this angel Gabriel appeared to him. And the angel Gabriel told him that basically Jesus was a prophet, Jesus is not God, and the one true God is Allah. So the first question I got is, angel Gabriel appeared to Mary, and the angel Gabriel appeared to Moses. One of them suckers is lying.
Wait, I thought Gabriel appeared to Muhammad.
He did.
To tell him that Allah is the God.
He did. But I may have said that wrong. But if the angel Gabriel appeared to the Virgin Mary and said, the Bible specifically says it's Gabriel, that you are with child, and it is basically Jesus.
Right.
Now you've got the angel Gabriel appearing to to Muhammad, saying that Jesus is just a prophet and there's only one God and his name in Arabic is Allah. They contradict each other. You got to believe one or the other.
I see.
See where I'm going with that?
Kind of.
So,
Yeah. But anybody
really,
that started watching this podcast, minute 12 is left.
I know, right? They're gone.
When are you going to say, to make a long story short?
Well, you got to understand all this.
No, you're right. I do. And that makes sense. So people pray to Allah, people pray to Jesus.
Yeah,
two different gods, right?
right.
Well, I mean, Jesus is God. But that's okay. Did Muhammad get any commandments?
No,
Yeah.
no. But so Muhammad went back to his uncle. He went back to his uncle, and I'm trying to speed this up. And
Sorry, I got an Amber Alert.
I know. But Muhammad went back to his uncle and his grandfather and said, "Hey, I just had a vision. The angel Gabriel appeared to me and said, went through there's only one God." Well, imagine if you're raking in all this money from all these people having a plethora of gods.
I see.
You see, so they kicked him out. They said, "You got to go. This ain't gonna work because you cut in on the family business." Hence why he went to Medina. So he went from Mecca to Medina and started building his religion there. So
Sounds
that's
like
why
mob family.
I know, right? That's why Medina is so prominent in Islam, is because you got Mecca and Medina. Anyway, long story short, he died, and he didn't name he had no sons. There was no heir apparent. He had one daughter. He had a daughter named Fatima, which is where Fatima, Portugal comes from, but that's another story. And when he died, he didn't name a successor. So you had one group of people saying that his successor should be a fellow by the name of Abu Bakr, who was, kind of think of him like an elder in the church, right?
Let's back up. Abu Bakr.
Abu, A-B-U, Abu.
Oh.
Abu, not a boob, Abu.
Abu Ben Akar. Abu Akar.
Yeah.
Got it. Carry on.
So if anybody's still around,
Abu
but-
Akar. No,
exactly.
They're
they're
gone.
gone. Bye, Felicia.
They're hitting fast forward until something else. We start talking about something else.
But you have one group that said Abu Bakr should take over the Islam, and you got to realize Muhammad has already been building this up. It's started taking a stronghold now. And you had another group that said, no, it should stay in the family, that Fatima and her husband, who was Muhammad's son-in-law named Ali, should run the religion. You got two factions. That's where the Sunnis and the Shiites come from. You've heard of Sunnis and Shiites, right?
Pick a road, man. Pick a path and stay on it.
I'm telling you all this because
where does this? I want to know where this is going, because we talked about the prophecies, we talked about Jesus, we talked about Moses, we talked about Gabriel.
Okay. I'm telling you all that to tell you. Okay. Fast forward real quick. Bible prophecy there talks about that there is a 7-year tribulation coming, right?
That you've said before, yes.
Yes.
What is that 7-year tribulation? Where we
there is
the earth and start over?
So no, it's basically hell on earth. There is a 7-year tribulation coming. That there is going to be, the Book of Revelation talks about, there's going to be a person that's known as the Antichrist, and there's going to be another person that appears with him. That's in the Bible calls him the false prophet, and there will be 3.5 years of basically hell on the earth. There'll be another 3.5 years, which is worse than the first 3.5 years. And that after that 7 years, Jesus will come back and step foot on the Mount of Olives. The reason I was telling you the whole crap about Islam is because Islam has the same exact prophecies, but it's in reverse. They say that the Antichrist, there's a person coming who is going to be, he's called the Mahdi. He's their 12th Imam. And I can tell you where that come from, but that's a rabbit hole. He was going to come back and he's going to unite the world under Islam, and that Jesus is coming back to tell the world that he's really not the Son of God, that he's just a prophet of God. And their tribulation lasts 7 years. What I'm trying to show you is what the Bible says and what Islam says are mirror opposites. They're saying one thing and we're saying another.
Well, I need to have a talk with Jesus, because if he comes back on a mountain of olives, I ain't coming, because the olives are disgusting. I hate olives.
I don't know. They make wine, but
I don't like wine.
No, they don't make wine. Grapes make wine.
Grapes? What? I was going to say, wait, hold on. That'd be some nasty. I definitely will be drinking.
Hey, you cook with olive oil, man. You cook with olive oil.
Yeah, but not like actual olives, like out of a jar, or if they put them on like my pizza or in my food.
Yeah, But see, there's all these
Anyway.
other prophecies that have to be fulfilled about they're going to rebuild the temple on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, which the Temple Institute already has it. They can snap it together like Legos.
So there's things that have to happen first before that one can happen.
Yeah, there's certain things that are going to happen before that one can happen.
No.
So that's why I look at some of the things that I say and some of the conspiracy theories that I say. I can look at it because I spent 12 years studying this. I went down a bunch of deep rabbit holes. I really did. Because I got to a point I was like, all right, kind of like somebody's got to be right, somebody's got to be wrong. What's right and what's wrong? So it's kind of like building a house. Some people just see the top layer. I'm looking about 3 layers down to see what it actually means. So a lot of times when some of this stuff comes up, I'm looking at it at a different angle. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That's just the way I am now.
All right. Well, I need to start. So now I'm going to start reading the Bible, just so I can read more about this. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting, right? It's interesting. Do I believe it? Sure. Yeah, I do. I mean, I have no reason not to, I guess. Right. Especially if they're batting 1,000. But yeah, I mean, it's very interesting things that, like you said, that even things that in our today's life that were named after a lot of those things that I don't know where the origin is, but that's just me being uninterested in life. Like,
no, I get that. But, and the reason I brought that up about Islam is because Islam, while people can say it's the religion of peace, they actually teach certain things that they've got to take over the world. And they teach a 7-year tribulation, 7 years of hell on earth, just like we teach 7 years. The Bible teaches 7 years of hell on earth. But you got places like Minneapolis, Minnesota. They're doing they've got the daggum prayers going out in town 5 times a day, like they do overseas in Saudi Arabia. You can look that up. Oh yes.
So like they got over intercut, like the tornado sirens are playing.
Correct. They're doing their prayer things 5 times a day. They used to do it 3 times a day, but it's required in Islam to do it 5. They have now started doing it 5 times a day. So Islam is slowly, incrementally taking over certain things, and it is going to play a big role in what's supposed to happen biblically.
All right. Well, hopefully, when it all happens, YouTube is still around. Somebody can go back and watch this and go, "Some bitch, he was right."
Right? No, exactly.
Still batting 1,000.
Still batting 1,000. Right?
Well, so, we will see.
And I guess that's really high level of why I look at certain things and why sometimes I say, or come at things from that different angle. So now you know as to why, because I'm looking at it sometimes through a biblical lens, right, wrong, or indifferent.
All right. Well, next week I'm bringing some news stories.
Yeah, we'll get back to news stories next week.
Kill this podcast before it even gets going. We just start talking. Well, but I would like to think that there's more people that believe in it that don't. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people out there who are, the atheists, good Lord, who are atheists, who don't believe that there's a God, period. There's a lot of people who believe in different gods. There's people who believe in John Smith, right? I mean, there's,
correct.
So everybody has their beliefs, but, look, we just need to get back to living our lives, man.
Well, no, correct. And what people don't know about, John Smith and his golden plates that he found, that the plates that he supposedly found and started when he wrote, he actually engraved on them plates where he tells you not. Most of that stuff that he wrote was out of the book of Isaiah. It came straight out of the Bible, and he turned that into a religion itself.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know that I want to have a religion that my parents outlived or were born before.
Right.
And this, 60s, 70s?
And again, I mean, we're not here to preach what I'm not judging anybody. I got enough to answer for. That's why. And I heard this was put really good to me. I saw somebody not too long ago that was talking about, you hear the thing, well, especially with the trans and the, the lesbian and gay communities, the Bible strictly forbids, a man laying with a man and a woman laying with a woman. The Bible does say it is abomination. It says a man, God looks at that as an abomination. But here's what I always ask people when they say that. If you take homosexual, let's take that out of the equation. Are you still living your life? Are you still living your life good enough that you think that that you can get into heaven? And 99% of them are going to say no. The homosexuality is not the problem. It's a fruit of the problem. It's not the root of the problem. So, people, I love when people start bashing people. Hey, all I got to do is worry about Tim. Eric's got to worry about Eric's answering for Eric. Tim's answering for Tim.
That's
and
right.
If you're watching this, you're answering for you.
Yeah.
So,
that's precisely it. And if we can just leave everybody else alone.
Yes.
Right. We can all get along instead of walking down the street going, you're going to hell. Well, let them, but you don't have to yell it in their damn face. They probably already know. They probably already know.
I did see where that there's a bunch of, what is it? I think it's what's the name of the group? Gays for something. I mean, they are on the trans people because they're talking about how intolerant they are and the whole. It's actually a group of some group that are gay and lesbian people, which is fine, but they're actually so far against the LGBTQ, RMFMP, LMNOP people.
That is how I say my ABC. Yeah. How, but no, you're right. But it's yes. So they're not doing it right. That sounds stupid, but that's what they're. You know what I mean? Like, you're fine. You want to stand up for. Child was located unharmed. Thanks for the update. I've never seen that before. Got an Amber Alert. You ever seen those TikToks for like what the government expects us to do when you get an Amber Alert? Like you see it on your phone, everybody, they go out in their car and you see cars zooming around the neighborhood. Like, where is the bit? Anyway. But yes, it's just like all other things. Like, you can go believe what you want to believe. You want to have your LGBTQ AI plus membership, whatever, go have it. Just go live your life the way you want to live it. Nobody's stopping you from doing that. Land of the free, home of the brave, right?
Yep.
But don't tell me I'm wrong for believing what I believe. That's all.
Well, I guess to summarize, if people are still hanging around, we didn't run people off. And if you look at it, the Bible says this, Islam says this, and they're opposites. And God started his religion in one place. Satan copied him and started his religion in the same place.
Well, again.
So, again.
Look, to everybody out there, look, you're allowed to believe whatever it is you want to believe. Exactly. Just don't make me try to believe what you believe if it's different. Don't tell me my beliefs are wrong if it's different. If I go out, again, and we've said this before, if I go out to a bar or any public place and there's a member of the LGBTQ community and they're just flailing their arms and having a blast, I'm going to let them. Matter of fact, if they come up to me and say, hey, can I buy you a drink? Sure, go ahead.
Sure.
I'm never going to. Yeah, right. I can party with you all night long. Just don't tell me that being straight is wrong. Don't tell me that the way I live my life is wrong. Let's just be friends and party and have a great time.
Don't tell me I got to join your committee and join your bandwagon, because that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, don't try to stick your dick in my butt. Whatever.
But I do draw the line of you trying to get naked in front of kids. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yes.
The parents should be shot for taking them kids, but you don't take. Wait, we've always said 18-year-olds been the limit. If your child turns 18 and wants to do what he wants to do, go do it.
Bye, Felicia. Go do your thing.
Exactly. Yeah. But when they're 6 and don't know any better, you don't take them to a parade of naked men walking down the street.
No, but like, in Europe and Greece and all these other places where they're just open and naked and free on the beach, because that's the culture and that's what everybody, that's fine. I went to naked beaches. You see the little kids out there running around buck ass naked, right? But that's just the culture. But here, no, don't try to force. Nobody's trying to force anything on anybody on those beaches. It's just like, that's
just the way we do it. Yeah.
It's like running up to a family saying you have to put on clothes over there. No. Right. They don't. I'm sorry if it offends you. Leave the beach. But this is what 99.9% of the population is doing. Right? Don't go to that beach. Yep. Right? If you're offended by the way I live my life, don't be my friend.
Right.
Bye.
Don't come to the house.
Yeah. Don't knock on my door. Don't try to sell me vacuums. Whatever. But
I can't wait for the Jehovah Witnesses. You know what's really funny? Speaking of that, I love when Jehovah Witnesses knock on my door. I have a field day with them. I just throw all kind of crap at them in there.
I don't have any ammo, but I do now. But yeah, I just that doesn't really bother me.
I don't. I think it's. I mean, I don't do it out of ugliness, but it's fun. I have a good time with them.
In today's day and age, man, they just need a new person. They need like a new head of marketing. Like door to door is
Yeah.
Ain't nobody answering the door. Fear of COVID, getting shot.
Shot the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, everything. They just need a new marketing department. You know, the internet's out there.
Yeah, we'll get back next week to some news stories for any of y'all that hung around. Or if you want any more of this, if you want us to get in depth, you want me to get in depth on some stuff, send us an email. Hey, we'd like an email every once in a while.
Yeah,
Show, you know,
only
you can
emails
tell
I
us
get
which
are
way.
marketing materials.
Yeah, huh?
The only emails I get are marketing materials.
know,
Matter
right?
of fact, I send myself one once a week just to make sure it still
Sure
works.
works.
Info at Grumpy Old Men.
I'm gonna start sending you one too. Hey, just checking to see if it works. I'm gonna do that.
What we need to start doing is there's some of those videos out there that have comments on them. We need to bring those comments in and start talking about what people are and defending the comments or talking about the comments.
Yep. Tell you what, we'll start doing that. We'll start going through and looking at them.
Yeah. All right, man. Well,
we can do that.
I'm going to go upstairs where my daughter is waiting for me to make dinner. Well, not make dinner. We're going to go grab some food. But yeah, man, great to see you as always. Good. That was, I mean, look, it's knowledge that I didn't have before. So thank you. As boring as it may be to some people. And I wasn't really bored by it, but it makes me want to go read the Bible.
Well, yeah, more. but I apologize, but sometimes you have to build the foundation so you understand. I know you can get lost down some rabbit holes, but just to come out and say X and Y, if you don't know how we got to X and Y, then, you know, sometimes people can't connect those dots. So anyway, like I said, if you want any more information, you want us to do some more shows on this, email us. If you don't want us to go back the other way, email us.
If you want more information, go find a building with a cross on it and join on Wednesday night or Sunday.
That's true.
Sunday morning or Saturday
That would
night.
help too.
Yeah.
That would help too.
All right, man. All right, brother. Well, look, hey, let's do this again next week. What do we got? Let's see. Nothing really going on. I'll have my new tattoo next week.
Yes.
No holidays or events or All-Star game.
No, you got the All-Star games.
Home Run Derby, All-Star game. We could talk about that.
We can talk about that.
Aaron Judge will be there, but he ain't playing.
We kind of got to fill in some time till college football and pro football start the end of August, 1st of September.
We do. And I will end with this. So we went to the Cardinals game, as I mentioned, on Saturday. Harrison Bader was there for the first time. Since leaving the Cardinals, that was his first appearance. And he was a fan favorite. 2-minute standing ovation, man. I mean, everybody in the house was screaming. Yankee fans, Cardinal fans were all just cheering for Harrison Bader. It was an amazing moment. Cardinal fans are amazing.
Yeah, no, I will admit, the baseball games that I've been to one Cardinals game in my life. They do have some good fans.
But then the Yankees fans, God love them. The Yankees traded away Aaron Hicks, or they DFA'd him because he was sucking a few months ago. He went to the Orioles, started kicking ass, right? Well, the Yankees played the Orioles.
Hey, I know we got to go, but I want to know where this goddamn De La Cruz dude came from for the Reds.
Oh, let's talk about him next week.
Okay, we will.
10.3 seconds to get from home to third. Are you kidding me?
Man, where did he come from? We'll talk about it next week.
We'll talk more baseball next week because we'll have more to talk about, All-Star game and everything else. So great seeing you. Have a great week, brother, and we'll see you soon.
All right. You too.